I have a very interesting chapter from Mary Garrison's book that's related to my demon, known as Asmodeus. Asmodeus or Asmodeus. Maybe he's from Asgard, where Jeff Goldblum would go. Through the devil's anus to get to Asgard. So Asmodeus is the prince of lust, and he's ugly. He's really ugly. He has a face that's a man. He's got 3 heads. He's got a man face, he's got a sheep face, and he's got a bull face. All right. So Asmodeus has got these 3 heads. And so the man's face sounds like it should be the most normal, but it's got like pointed ears. He's got a hooked nose, jagged teeth, fire-breathing mouth, and this human characteristic is probably like the worst out of all of them. Now, all of the heads are crowned above one chest, so it's like a man's chest, and at the waist, it looks like he's got this weird transformation to where he turns into the legs of a rooster and a scaly tail of a serpent. So that's really sexy, guys, So if you're going to get like a sexy lust demon, Asmodeus, that's their go-to. Now, if he didn't look weird enough, he also rides something that's weird. It's a lion with wings that has the neck of a dragon. So, dragon-necked lion with wings. That's his mode of transportation. So, he's considered to be a very powerful demon. And he has to be cunning and cruel and that sort of thing in order to get there. All right. So, all of the 7 princes of hell, each one has a particular sin that they're associated with. This one, Asmodeus, his sin is lust. So when I think about sexy times, it's certainly with a bull head, a sheep head, and a really ugly dude that has rooster legs and a serpent tail.
Well, I mean, what more could a woman ask for?
I mean,
nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Although lust is his jam, he does get involved with other sins. He's like the lord over gambling houses. He likes revenge. He also doesn't miss an opportunity to kind of go and put a little fire on a grudge or help concoct violent plans for vengeance, so he likes that stuff too. He was at one point given a more lighthearted and playful personality, but he was also considered very promiscuous, and he liked to play dice. So, he liked to roll some dice. He didn't have the evil intentions that one would expect from one of Hell's 7 princes in that particular type of representation of Asmodeus. So they think that Asmodeus was primarily derived from the Ashma-deva, which is a wrathful demon that you kind of see in Zoroastrianism. If you're not familiar with that particular faith, Zoroastrianism is pretty cool. Demons and angels are equally matched in power and ability. Good is just as powerful as evil. It's almost like yin and yang. So it's pretty cool faith. So later on, Jewish and Christian faiths kind of built off of that Ashma-deva's infamy and kind of put Asmodeus together from that. He's seen in the Talmud, the Testament of Solomon, around 3rd century BCE. He appears as a demon who was forced to help build Solomon's temple. So he didn't want to have to build that junk, but he was made to anyway. He proved to be a bit too powerful for this form of slavery. And so when he was his roving eye fell on Solomon's beautiful wives. So he's like, I'm going to go see what's going on over there. And he decided enough is enough. So he took Solomon 400 miles into the desert, then disguised himself as Solomon and took over his palace as well as his wives. And so eventually Solomon came back imagine that's a pretty long hike, 400 miles on foot. Not certain if you got a camel or something, but that's a while. He got back and he's like, I'm not having this. And so Solomon kicked out Asmodeus, but I guess Asmodeus had it pretty sweet for a while. It's good to be the king. So in the book of Tobit, about 400 AD, you see Asmodeus again, and he shows up as this evil demon who kills several of Sarah's husbands, only to be driven away by Raphael, the archangel Raphael. And then you also see him in Jewish and Christian, other Jewish and Christian texts. In different theologians in those faiths include Asmodeus in their characterization of demons. So he shows up in like the Dictionnaire Infernal, where he's given his particularly high ranking as one of the 7 princes of hell, main demon. He is seen in more modern place, like he's kind of faded out of contemporary pop culture. But the last time we technically kind of see him is in the 17th century with Spanish and French playwrights, where they kind of took him and kind of made him into like this genie in a bottle type of role. And it was like a fun companion for, a late night, thing, like a one night stand or something. But a lot of today's theologians kind of like, are a bit more serious, but he's considered kind of obscure. So yeah, Asmodeus. So if you're curious, this comes from our esteemed Mary Garrison. She's written several books on how to conduct spiritual warfare. Here's something that she says. She preempts all of this, and this whole section right here is 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 or 4 pages. And so for this one, it's how the seducing spirit and the perverse spirit ministers to a homosexual. Perhaps Asmodeus is all up in that. I'm not certain because, I don't know. I don't know if Asmodeus is involved in homosexuality.
Wow.
Imagine, But hey, so this is what she says. I won't read a whole lot of this because, oh my God. Anyway. He says, I am not qualified to know or understand what dark circumstances happened in a person's life to cause him to become a homosexual. Notice she says him. Because women cannot be gay, I guess. I do not know what terrible wound was dealt to that human spirit to cause a gaping open hole. I didn't read this before I read it to you.
Obviously.
And I realized where I am. in it that would not heal. It festered to the extent that this lonely soul would withdraw for a while from what he would consider to be the ways of life. But I do know that this has happened to him because the Lord of all of the universe has showed it to me. Good job, Mary. There are people like you on Twitter who also say lots of things like that.
Yeah, there are lots of them.
Yes.
Waves of them.
This is what she says she is highly qualified for. I am highly qualified to write about what I do know to be true. I do so in the hope of ministering healing truth to those who are injured in their spirits and have turned for hurtful reasons to a homosexual way of life. Mary, what if they aren't hurtful reasons? Does that completely demolish your whole idea of this?
How does a spirit get hurt? It's a spirit. It's not a tangible thing that can get broken or bruised.
I don't know. The truth is very important to those who are to receive this ministry because it is the key that will unlock the door that will let them go free. Please remember, as I present this truth, all good salve tends to sting a little as it is applied to open wounds. So stand still for the entire application. For your gaping hole, I imagine.
Oh,
No
all
matter
what
how
I
much
say.
For it is coming straight from the heart for a loving father with a healing hand extended to the homosexual.
Yeah, everything I say is true. Believe me.
I'll be right back.
Just
And
believe
if it's
me.
not, I totally mean well because Jesus and God, they all mean well. Right?
The path to hell.
So yeah, so that's Asmodeus for you, and our sweet little Mary Garrison, who thinks that homosexuals are hurt and that's why they're gay, and that they need to have ministers get the demons out of them and treat their gaping holes with, I guess, Jesus cream.
Oh God.
So poor Mary, she tried so hard.
I think this is a good segue to say lube. You can never have too much.
Very true.
You know, it's healing powers. I don't know that it does that, but you know, if Jesus's hand is going to extend to that gaping hole, you probably need a lot of Jesus cream.
Look, most lubes you can see through, and you can also see through crystals. Okay,
Yes.
that's
Are
how
we
it
gonna?
works.
I don't know about crystals and gaping holes. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, no, there is such a thing called a jade egg, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
We've thoroughly covered that on my channel,
Yeah.
all the way down to weightlifting with them.
Oh my
So-
God, I remember that.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
Asmodeus lives on my show, Oral Dassy. Through our lovely dog Savage, who sneaks in entendres that completely went over my head for several episodes.
This is just an excellent happenstance that Asmodeus is the demon that got assigned to you, because that is fantastic.
I did. He's on my show. Like Oral Dacity. Doc Savage is Asmodeus, but a much better looking one, if I may say so. Put in the lust in the ladies on my show. God, there's some thirsty ladies who have messaged me about him. I'm like, simmer down, ladies.